Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we try to get an acting career, forget who we are, shit gets fucking wild, and yeah, I'm Bill, and this is Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Oh, I'm doing just PG. Just got off of you and I just got off of a double feature. One of which
Mhm.
the movie we're covering today. The next one was the one we'll be covering next week. And boy,
I'm
I
not
know we
sure
both.
which one was more confusing.
I'm pretty sure which one was more confusing, but
I don't
they were
know.
both psychological thrillers.
Both of them had endings that left you going, huh. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
uh, but
Funny how that
yeah,
happens.
it is. It is very funny how that happens. Um, but yeah, it's been a bit of a week. This was a very draining week.
Tell me about it.
I think everyone was just exhausted.
Yeah, I
We're
ended up
also,
I ended up going to an interview a couple days ago.
oh yeah,
I'm trying to get a little extra work, so just kind of going around trying to fucking find some part time stuff.
gotcha.
Shit's crazy here, man.
Oh yeah,
Massachusetts is not a cheap place to live.
no, it's not. In Connecticut, ain't much better.
Yeah. Ugh. But yeah.
Yeah,
Um. So you're moving along on My Hero, I hear.
I sure am. I sure am. Um, I'm about halfway through season 7 as we speak.
Oh, so you saw Deku's emo phase?
Yes, I've seen a lot, and I've had a lot of opinion. So I'm currently in the middle of the war,
Hmm.
the big war arc. I forget where we left off. All I know is like in like the beginning of season 7 was very interesting because we literally had America comes to saves the day and then dies immediately, but still ends up causing being a big help
Dude,
in a
Stars and
way.
Stripes is like the coolest, like one and done character in this whole damn show.
She's like arguably the strongest character in the series, because her power is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane how fucking good it is. Like, oh my god, I was so upset when she like died immediately. I was like,
It
you gotta be kidding me.
dies fucking in one scene, basically. Um,
Yeah, it was sad.
season 6 though, holy shit! Like like everything about season 6 starts off and it just like goes from 0 to 10 like immediately.
Yeah. Oh wait, so you got all that you got the whole Dobby thing, huh? How'd you feel about that stuff?
Well, I called this like 3 seasons ago.
Did you?
Well, because all right, fire guy, bright blue eyes, really doesn't has a real interest in Endeavor, and they have a son that died. Like that
Yeah.
I was like that one I saw coming from like a mile away, so I wasn't
I
super
didn't see
surprised.
I didn't see it that far in advance, but I
Well,
did, yeah, I did see it in advance.
the fire kind of got me interested because, and then like you look at his eyes, and you're like, he's got Endeavor's eyes.
Well, they
Hmm.
reference at one point in the series that fire quirks aren't that uncommon, so it's not something that like the fire alone isn't really enough to make a correlation. But
True, but he's notable. He was notable enough that it was kind of like I just kind of I thought about it. It I ended up calling it, but
yeah,
the backstory of the Todoroki family, it's like holy shit. You keep thinking like they're finally turning a corner. It's like nope.
nope, it's actually way worse than you thought.
Yeah, it's like oh, it's like even no matter how much he redeems himself, he's never recovering from this one.
Hmm. Oh, and so a lot of stuff happened since like the last time we really talked about you watching My Hero. So like you met Hawks,
Yes,
and he's like a super major character.
yes.
Um, how'd you feel about the whole thing with him and Twice?
That was the first person in the series who died that I actually felt like really bad about.
I know, right? Like this the thing is like Twice is like a super good. This is like one of my favorite characters in the whole damn show.
Well, yeah, and he gets killed in a way, and it's like you get why, but then of course where I'm at in the final battle, it's like oh, it was all for nothing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
ended up happening anyways. If anything worse,
Hmm.
I will say in these last two battle arcs though, there's one thing about them that's been kind of pissing me off.
What?
I'm getting really tired of like they're finally making headway, and then it's like surprise. Here's another setback. That we're gonna reset everything again.
I mean,
I know, but
it's
after
kind of
three,
just a shonen thing,
I
though.
know, but after 3 times, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like,
I mean,
make
that's a trope we've been
progress.
seeing in shonen anime since like the 80s.
Fucking All for One being like, you think he's finally done. He's like, surprise, de-aging power. Yeah, this is gonna kill me, but I'm gonna fuck everything up before it does.
Yeah. Oh God, what else? What was some of the other stuff that I wanted to touch on?
Well, like half the
Uh
characters get nerfed in the battle in season 6 or
yeah,
dead.
the first like big confrontation. Yeah,
Also,
we
how
lost we
the
lost Miss
anime
Midnight.
yeah, the anime doesn't even show how she dies. Like I was like, because I was talking about it with Alec, and she's like, no, she got ganged up on people. I'm like, well, the anime didn't animate any of that. It was
Hmm.
nice to see.
Um, there's so much going on. Oh, how about a fucking belly button laser kid?
So I had suspicions from that one like weird stinger where he's outside Midoriya's window for like a minute.
But then they tried to play it off like it's just like a, hey, I see you struggling, bud. It's okay. We're here for you.
Yeah, but I was like already enough. I'm like, why would they? I'm like, that's just weird. Like, there's something
Yeah.
not right here.
Oh, it was super
Um,
weird.
and he'd always been a little off, that guy.
Hmm.
So it wasn't surprising. It was more kind of like, oh, huh, how is this one gonna go?
And then just how fucking like insane Deku's powers are now.
Oh yeah. So my favorite fight in this series, just because of how fucking dumb it was, but also kind of fun, was versus Class A when they're trying to get him to come home.
Yep. Oh no, are you frozen?
Okay, are we back?
Oh, there you are.
Okay, that was weird. Um, as I was saying, the one fight that was funny to me just because of how like the acting was the when Class A is trying to get him to come back. That entire fight can be summed up as member of Class A going, Deku, come back, and Deku going, no, runs off,
No.
runs off, and then 5 seconds later, Deku, come back, no. It's like Deku, please. He's like, I can't. The whole time I'm like, this fight is stupid. Like
For real.
they eventually just have to like chase him down and be like, grab him, and be like, no, come home. It'll be fine. And then he does come home and he still gets fucking emotional trauma. I'm just like,
Yeah.
great job, guys. Great job.
Everyone tries to kick him out.
It's been interesting though. Um, I had a great conversation with Alex about this where she was like, so what'd you think of Bakugo? And I'm like, he's still a prick. like
He got better.
like I joked with Alex, I'm like, a character can have a redemption arc and still be an asshole. like
Oh, for sure.
it doesn't mean I have to immediately like him just because he
Well,
is
I'm
better
not
now.
asking you to I'm not asking you to be like, oh, Bakugo's my favorite character. No,
I know.
nothing like that. But like, you got to admit though, he goes through growth. You know, he
Oh, he
acknowledges
does.
Deku, and they grow as characters.
He does. My problem is when ever he regresses back into his fucking like prick shtick, I'm always like, it's not even funny anymore now. It's just annoying.
You know, I mean, it's been happening since fucking Piccolo.
Yeah, but never. I think the problem is too. Bakuno's English VA is just so fucking irritating when he does that shit. I'm always like, dude.
That's Connie. That's Connie from Attack on Titan.
I know. Who I forgot his name and called Krillin half the time anyway. So
Yeah, that's true. This is true. Oh
yeah,
man.
but
So yeah. So you're halfway through season 7, so you're almost caught up.
yeah, we're in the middle of the big fight. I think we just had like the third fucking reset of the fight where I'm like, oh, like come on already. And I know it ain't gonna end because there's gonna be there's still another season. So
Well, when you finish season 7, are you gonna just jump in and watch Vigilante?
yeah, I'll probably try and get through that.
It's only like 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah, I'll get it because that's getting a season 2 as well. So I want to at least be caught up.
Rightfully so, because if I'm being totally honest, in a lot of ways, I like Vigilante more.
Well, it's a prequel, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost done with that. I still gotta watch the fourth movie, even though I've heard the fourth movie kind of sucks.
I've heard that. I mean, yeah. To be totally honest, it was the out of the three that I've watched, that was the one I liked the most.
Well, from what everyone says, the first one is the one that everyone likes, and then they get progressively worse as they go on. From what everyone was saying,
I mean, I
um,
didn't like the second one. I haven't seen the third one because for some reason I couldn't find that one dubbed anywhere.
I
Um,
watched the third one and I can't remember a thing about it. It was that boring.
Fair, but I thought
Um,
the fourth one was pretty good
I'll have to watch it. I've heard mixed things from people.
because I know I've mentioned before how like when it comes to movies based on pre-existing franchises, like it has to do something interesting enough for me to care. And like at this point, I've seen a good amount of the One Piece ones, and there's only like maybe one and a half that I actually cared about.
Yeah, for when it comes to One Piece, I like Z, I like Red,
Yeah, those are the two.
I like
The only two.
I like Stampede too. But Stampede is like a Dragon Ball movie where there's not really any plot. It's mostly just a really fun fan service fight.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the bunch like there's only a couple Naruto movies that I like actually like there's a
I
lot
like
of Naruto movies and a lot of them are kind of hot garbage.
I like the last, and I like Road to Ninja. That's really and the Boruto movie, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much the last Road to Ninja and Boruto, and I like the first of the original Naruto movies before Sasuke fucked off.
Yeah. I mean, Dragon Ball movies are all kind of just like,
Dragon Ball movies are meant to just be dumb fun, and
yeah.
even then there are still some that I'm not crazy about.
I mean, the best one by far in terms of narrative is probably Superhero, but
That I guess that's debatable. That's all down to preference though.
yeah.
Because I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, Battle of Gods was a big
Well,
one.
Battle of Gods is really good. The Brawly
And
movie's great, but it's really just a giant fight scene.
see, everybody says that, but the fights, like the back third of the movie, like the first third is all like backstory stuff. The second third is like, all right, where is everybody now? And then the final third is the fight. So the fight itself is like maybe 30 minutes out of the hour and a half movie.
Yeah. I don't know. Superhero left more of an impression on me, but I think it's because Superhero actually just did stuff like new with the
That's
series.
fair. That's fair.
I think the fact about Superhero that makes that movie so likable is the fact that Goku and Vegeta are barely in it, and I think that immediately changes it, like for a lot of people.
And if we're looking at like the original, like four Dragon Ball movies and 13 Dragon Ball Z movies, it's hard to say, but I feel like the best like beginning to end story as like its own contained thing might be Wrath of the Dragon.
Wrath of the Dragon is definitely the most plot relevant, but if I'm being honest, it's not my favorite one to rewatch.
No, just because it's the most competent doesn't mean it's the most fun.
Like, because my favorite of the classics is still Fusion Reborn.
Yeah, that one's up there for sure.
But yeah, making progress on My Hero. Oh, I watched the trading card episode. What the fuck was that? Like what?
Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
It's an OVA, but it's like I watch it like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah,
what am I doing?
that was weird. And then like I don't know why it reminded me of like how in Boruto they had like this weird thing where they turned like the ninja info cards from the original series is like, hey, this is like a trading card game now. You just
Yeah,
collect cards. It's
the
like, oh, I
difference
got an
is though,
ultra rare Sasuke card.
the difference is that was a part of the plot. The My Hero one was a fucking filler OVA. It didn't matter. It was just to
Yeah,
fucking
whatever.
promote a game.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
The
fine.
funniest part about that OVA is the ending where Bakugo pulls out the All Might card and Deku pulls out a dog, and then All Might saves the dog and flies off.
It's about right.
And it's like okay, no
Um,
winners.
so I've been watching a little bit of stuff this week. I started watching this show called Desert Punk. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
ever seen it before. Um, it's it's something. It's like it's very clearly supposed to be a comedy show. but like it obviously it takes place in like it's like a post-apocalyptic like Tokyo, but everything's just desert.
Oh,
And the main character is like a kid who's like this famous mercenary named Desert Punk, and he's played by Eric Bale, but he's just a
nice.
pervert,
Oh, I see.
and he just wants to fondle boobies.
Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah. I
So
don't know
both.
why he keeps getting cast as the perv characters.
He's got.
It's just like, oh, this guy who played the super serious Trunks over here in Dragon Ball Z for his first thing. We're just gonna make him a
Well,
pervert from now on. He's either
he's
gonna be a
also
pervert or a villain.
well, but then you get the exceptions, like he's Yuki Soma in Fruit Baskets, who's about as serious as it gets.
Well, he got that role coming off of Trunks, so
True.
there was a
Yeah, I
there was a
forgot about the
crossover
original.
time. There was a crossover period.
He's Phoenix Wright. He's Phoenix Wright in the Ace Attorney anime. I just realized that.
Objection.
So Sakamoto Days ended this week.
I haven't watched that last episode
Okay.
yet.
I'll save it. It's there's definitely sequel hook at the end. There's an after credit scene. Remember to watch it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I haven't
also,
watched that. I'm not caught up on Kaiju either.
Okay. The last episode came out today, so
Yeah, I'm behind 2 then.
the Fragrant Flower, the newest episode of that came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been interesting so far.
I like that isn't backing down. That's a
Mhm.
fun fun
Yeah.
little twist.
Again, it's just this show just keeps like subverting like the usual tropes that you see in these shows, and I like that a lot.
I may or may not have acquired the manga for that.
It didn't take long.
Well, there's only 8 volumes though currently, and Newbury, our local Newbury, was doing a buy one get one free sale thing. So
Oh wow, okay.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
it's kind of hard to pass that up.
was like, okay, we're doing this.
So yeah, that's been going well. I think Dr. Stone is almost wrapped up. Either
Hmm.
almost wrapped up or it just wrapped up for part 2 of season 4.
Hmm.
Yeah, everything's ending right now. I don't think there's much left. There's like another episode of Dress Up, and
There's one more episode of Dress Up, and well, technically 2 because I don't think today's episode is out yet. But
yeah, well, after today there'll be one more.
yeah,
and
then Vending Machine. Thank God, let's get that over with.
That's got like 1 or 2 episodes left.
One, I believe, but it's
and that cat show I've been watching, I think only has 2 episodes left. So yeah, all the current ongoings are about to wrap up. Just in time for all the fall ones to start.
For Spy Family and a few others. So
yeah, Spy Family, My Hero, Chainsaw Man movies coming out.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's 1 or 2 other things that I'm forgetting.
There is a few. I couldn't tell you.
Rama 1/2 season 2.
That's
coming out. So I'm not 100% sure. Is JJK season 3 coming out in January?
I think.
Okay.
It's kind of unclear.
Because I'm literally 5 chapters away from finishing the series. And holy shit, dude. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna say it doesn't get any less confusing as it goes.
I've heard not great things about the ending, so I'm curious when we get there eventually.
I don't know how much you know about the stuff that happens like post Shibuya.
I've just heard it gets very bleak.
Oh, it super does. But they also do a lot of things that like there's a lot of like twists along the way that you wouldn't expect. I don't think it's that much of a secret that Sukuna's the final villain.
No. Darn it.
I mean, yeah, but I mean at the same time, like we've been faked out with that before. You know, Naruto talk no jutsu to his demon, so who knows? But no, Sukuna's definitely the final villain here.
I don't see the power of friendship happening in this show. This show has been very.
He keeps trying to talk no jutsu, and it just ain't taken.
Yeah, I didn't.
See, there's the difference between Talk no Jutsu and Talk no Jujutsu. It's not the same.
Yeah, all I know is
Um,
it's like most of the cast dies at one point. There's like only a few survivors by the end.
yeah, a lot
Uh,
of people died. Um, I do like though, like as soon as the Shibuya stuff finishes up, we pretty much like Akotsu gets jumped right back in to the series, which is really because I liked him a lot in the movie, and I was really bummed that we didn't get him for like the whole 2 seasons aside from that movie.
yeah, yeah, because he
Um,
appears like right at the end there, and that was it.
yeah, and then God, he's fucking overpowered. Um,
It kind of got that bad.
Maki goes through some serious development, like all at once.
Is he the co-lead?
She
She. I don't remember the character.
Maki's the one with the glasses that
Oh,
PC curses.
her. Yeah, yeah, that's her.
Yeah, she goes through quite the arc. Um, and it's a pretty big fuck yeah moment, but also kind of dark. Um, God, what else? There's so much. I don't want to go into too much detail about it because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But all I'll say is, Kenjaku, the guy who's inhabiting Geto's body, the way he gets taken out is fucking awesome.
Okay,
It's fucking amazing. And
nice,
I feel like a lot of people probably got mad about it, but I think it's awesome.
hmm. Nice. Um, yeah, that's really about all I've been covering so far. Do you want to hop into Darker Than Black? I can't speak. uh,
Yeah.
all right, let's do this. So we got the untitled Darker Than Black segment.
Shit. I forgot to look up what the title was. Darker.
I think these might have been the most straightforward episodes we've had so far.
They're up there. I don't know if it's exactly. I don't know if it exactly is, but hold on a sec. That is not the same title I got. Hang on. Dreaming Shallow Uninebriated is the title for this week.
Huh.
So as we referred to last week, these are very Huang centric episodes.
They're
We get a little bit more into his
essentially his
backstory.
yeah, they're like his main backstory, I
And
guess.
kind of
At
explaining
least,
why he has such a grudge against contractors, and
yeah,
which I mean, you still can tone it down a little bit, but fair, fair.
yeah.
Um, so like to my memory, the first thing we see in the episode is him like coming home like from work or whatever, and his girl is just sitting like next to the window, just staring off into space, and he's just like, "Oh, this isn't like you. Why what are you doing over there? You're all quiet and shit." And then her eyes start glowing, and Huang starts bleeding out of every orifice.
Yeah. And then surprise, it was a dream.
Yes, 'twas a dream, and he was I forget, was he wake up at the bar? Was he at the bar when that happened?
No, I think he was at his house
Okay.
or wherever he sleeps.
Um, yeah, so we're throughout these episodes we keep getting flashbacks to Huang, like, back in the day.
His life
I don't
before
know how,
everything was miserable.
yeah, I don't know how much time there is between like all that shit that happened in the past and like the current time,
Hmm.
but during that time he lost a lot of his hair.
Stress will do
I
that
don't
to you.
I don't think it was supposed to be that long, but it because later on we see that the chick he was dating who turned out to be a contractor and killed his partner. Oh yeah, by the way, Huang was a cop. Who could have seen that coming? Um, but she had been like undercover in this cult for like 3 years, so at least 3 years have passed.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously she grew her hair out in that time because she had pretty short hair when they first met.
Yeah. Time in anime is an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's because it's kind of hard to tell when people age in anime because of just the way they're drawn.
Yeah, that's why all like 60-year-old moms look like they're 20. Makes total
Or
sense.
fucking Momo's grandmother looks like she's in college.
Yes.
I'm still not convinced that's her actual grandmother. I think that's her mom. She's just lying.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we get a scene where like Hayes like coming back from grocery shopping, and he's like going up to his door, and there are a couple of what's the word? Not monastery.
No, they were just straight up
Missionaries.
Jehovah's
They were
They
missionaries.
They were Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's be real.
Yeah, they were trying to recruit people to their cult, which apparently revolves around the gate itself as like a religious, kind of like the wall cultists in Attack on Titan.
See, you could tell this was not America, because if this was America, there would have been violent threats of these people to
Yeah,
get
like get the fuck off my property. I
Don't
mean,
touch
hell,
my
I'm surprised landlord lady didn't come out with her broom and just
Yeah, I
start
know.
swinging.
No solicitors. Yeah, because like they were fucking like touching his shit, like fucking get on all up in his face. I'm like,
And they were like, "Oh, we'll put this way for you. We'll make you dinner. We'll feed you, and we'll tell you about how you can be saved."
yeah.
And they were being super weird about it too.
To be fair though, like that was super accurate, because like the few times I've run into
Yeah.
like Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm always like, you're literally like bashing your head against the wall sometimes, because you're like, just go away.
Dude, nothing will ever top the time. It was I had ordered DoorDash. I was getting food, and the fucking DoorDash driver tried to fucking recruit me.
Jeez. Yeah, that's an instant 1-star report.
Yeah, like the dude like comes out and he's like, he goes to him in my field. He goes, I'm pretty sure he was from Africa or something because he had an accent. He was like, "Hey, bro, you baptized?" I'm like, yeah. Like, what do you say to that? Like,
See,
he baptized? It's like, can I just have my fucking gorditas, please?
the best one I ever had was when I was working night shift, like the graveyard at our old job. They had shown up one night, and I had fucking went fucking binge drinking that morning because I had a bad week, so I was fucking wasted. And I opened the door and I was fucking gone. I think I scared them away. They came back though like a month later, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, they do that. They do that. So yeah, basically he's just like, "No, I'm out. I gotta go. I got shit to do." And but they all meet up because they need to like investigate this cult. There's something going on with the leader of it, Alma, I think her name is. And we keep getting flashbacks of like to Huang on like a case that he was working on with his old partner, and the two storylines kind of converge because he finds a picture of Alma during the flashback. And I think there was a scene too where we saw Huang at the bar, and it was the wife of his partner who died. And like she goes on about how like she can't like remember him, and like apparently the story he gave her, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's just something that happens sometimes. The immense shock and trauma of the event will make you forget things," which I think is technically true, but I mean she got her memory wiped. That's what really happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene was very dark too, because like they have that really nice kind of like, because they make the whole thing about how Huang just doesn't get drunk for whatever reason.
Yeah, maybe he's Irish.
I don't know. He's just like me because I drink too much. I don't know. Anyways, but they have that really nice scene where he's at his partner's house, and he's basically like, "You only invited me here to show off your young, pretty wife."
He's just like guilty.
he's like, "Hey, not wrong."
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fight it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he ends up meeting this girl. Actually, the way he meets her is actually kind of funny because he thinks she's pickpocketing him.
Hmm.
But like it turns out she was just kind of returning his wallet because he dropped it.
But
But he like
dropped my wallet.
and then he chased her out into the street because he wanted to like bring her down to the station or whatever because he thought she was pickpocketing him. And then she like gets hit by a truck or something. Or like clipped by a car or something. She wasn't like that injured, but she was injured enough to go to the hospital.
Foreshadowing. That was what I found that scene was.
Yeah, true. But yeah, and then after that, like he's with her in the hospital, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'll take you out to eat or whatever to make it up for you." And they go out and they're drinking and having a good time or whatever. And she keeps calling him Gus because he's a gloomy Gus.
Hmm.
But yeah, basically we just kind of like see their relationship develop in little increments to the point where eventually we actually see him get drunk. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Let's settle down, baby."
It's like, yeah, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. We have no idea how long they were seeing each other, but yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean he kept making comments the whole time about how he's too ugly for anyone to like him. So like, he found a girl who liked him, so he was like, fuck it, let's get married. But yeah, like they end up in the present, they end up getting the like assignment or whatever from the syndicate that they have to assassinate Alma, the founder. So Hay needs to go undercover, and they need to meet up with their undercover agent who's been working that job for a while. And surprise, surprise, it's Huang's old girlfriend.
Yeah. Convenient.
Go figure. And even he's just like, yeah, it figures. You were a member of the syndicate. That makes everything make sense. Somehow.
Huang just seems tired at this point.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much done with the bullshit at this point. Also, we see I forget his name, but red-haired dude who was with the Evening Primrose with Amber.
Yeah.
Shows up because apparently Evening Primrose is affiliated with this cult because supposedly these cult people are supplying them with large numbers of dolls. We don't know why they need all these dolls, but they are shipping a bunch of dolls to them, like human trafficking.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens with that later. We do learn what his power is, though. It seems, just based on what I was seeing, that he fires compressed air through his hands.
It's like me at work with the air gun, just like, I have superpowers.
Yeah, pretty much. And also his price is that he has to eat a shit ton of boiled eggs.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
Yeah, and even like as he's doing it, it's just like God knows what the cholesterol is doing to me.
Oh, I can't even imagine that. Like, I had 2 eggs this morning. I was like, that's good.
Yeah, it's too much. That would be fucking. I'd rather have the cigarette guy's price.
Yeah. Sunflower man.
Your sunflower. I'll eat a fucking dandelion. I'm fine with that.
Recite poetry.
Yeah. I mean, fuck it. I'll even take the fucking regurgitation one over that. I can't eat all those eggs, man. I'm not even crazy about eggs on a good day.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah. But yeah, so they eventually they get Hay in like joining the cult or whatever, and he's like sitting in like a reading, so they're reading a scripture out of like whatever their version of the Bible is. And did you find it interesting that the person who was kind of like I don't know, like the priest in the situation or whatever, asked Hay, like he like she told Hay to grab the book and to read page 201. Did you pick up on that?
I noticed it. It didn't really click with me though.
His star is BK201.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's my brain just going nope.
Yep. So I thought that was a cute little thing that they did there. It was like obviously they did that on purpose. But eventually, I don't even know why he had to like join, because by the time they actually went to go do the assassination, he just kind of broke in and was hiding in the vents. So I don't know why he needed to. Well, I guess he had to meet up with the undercover girl. So
Hmm.
I guess maybe that's the reason, because they met up in like a confessional booth, and she's just like, everything in here is confidential. There's no surveillance, but I sweat for bugs anyway. And like they go into detail about like Alma's power and like how she can shapeshift. And it turns out that her price is the opposite of Amber's. Is that instead of she gets older every time she uses the power, as opposed to Amber, who gets younger. I think Amber got the better deal. Her power is stronger, and she pretty much gets to live longer if she uses it correctly.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one.
God knows how old she actually is. Watch her be like fucking 28.
Yeah,
just like this decrepit old lady. Because she did say, like, I was trying to be careful about my power, but then it turned out that, people really liked when I used it, so I did it a lot. And yeah. So yeah, like once they're actually going to do like the assassination, and Hayes like in the duct or whatever, waiting for his chance, and Huang's girlfriend there is in like the circle with Alma and with the red-haired guy from the Evening Primrose. Mm-hmm. They're talking about their big deal with like the dolls and everything, and all of a sudden you see like, I don't remember if it was like a bowl of water or like a puddle or something, but Yin's specter pops out of it.
She just does that. She does that.
Well, there's a reason this time. So the specter pops out, and I forget her name, but Huang's girl sees it, and Alma takes note. She sees her see it, and is like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a contractor," and that pretty much started this whole big scene of like, "Oh, they're onto us," Ultimately, Alma ends up getting away. Hay has a little showdown with Egg Boy, and ultimately everybody gets away. And Hay ends up confronting Huang after the fact, and he's just like, "What the fuck? Did you tell her to send that specter?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "I didn't hear from you." He's like, "No shit, I was undercover." Yeah. So it was one of those stupid things where it was just like he couldn't resist. He had to fucking see what was going on with his girl there.
Yeah.
I think this is around the time where we get like the actual flashback of like
how his friend died, which was
pretty brutal. I mean, apparently that's just how her power works. But she even says like she can only use her power once in a sitting. And she never says exactly why, but I have a theory on that.
Okay.
Because like after they actually managed to get her out of the cult, like Huang basically he's supposed to kill her. That was like his orders.
Yes.
And also Mao and Hay got separate orders that if Huang didn't kill her, then they had to kill him. Which makes you wonder why they put him on the assignment in the first place. But
yeah, it seems like a oversight.
They do that a lot.
Or they're just fucking trolls and they want to see chaos. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, the guy who recruited him in the first place, I'm pretty sure is the same guy that they met at the bar after the whole Yin incident.
Yeah.
So I think he's just like, that's just like his go-to handler kind of thing. Yeah,
that power.
Yeah, so it turns out
kind of fuck though. She could just blow up people's insides.
Yeah, just liquidate your organs real quick. So it turns out like as Huang's like, "I gotta kill you, sweetie," or whatever. He's like, she just starts kind of losing her shit for a minute. And it turns out that her price is that after she uses her power, she temporarily regains regular human emotions, and the weight of all the things that she's done hits her all at once. So she just kind of loses her shit for a little bit. And I think that's the reason why she can only use it once. Is because she uses it once, and once that fucking price kicks in, she's so horrified by everything she's done that she just can't handle it. So that was pretty rough.
Yeah. Then you get the whole like Wand is like literally like ready to fucking just throw away everything and run away.
Yeah. Well, before that, we got Hay, who manages to get in to see Alma, and they have a little conversation where basically Alma's just like, "Hey, what's the difference between contractors and humans?" And Hay's like, listen to these things off, like, "Oh, contractors don't have emotions. Contractors have the power to kill, but humans don't." And she's just like, "Nope, you're wrong. Nope, you're wrong." Like literally the only real difference between humans and contractors is logic. Which is like contractors behave logically, humans do not. That is the only difference, and that otherwise they are exactly the same. And it basically just goes on about how, like, you know, contractors should have rights, contractors should be considered people, we shouldn't just be tools. Which fair, which is kind of like the same idea of what Evening Primrose is trying to do, which makes sense why they would be working together. But she's basically like, "Hey, look at me, I'm young." Blah, died. And that's pretty much the end of that. And but that got Hay thinking, and he's just like, "You know what? You're right. Fuck this whole being a tool thing." So he decides not to kill Huang, even though Huang decided not to kill what's her face.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and Mao's like, "I ain't a part of this. I didn't see anything."
He's like, "I'm not involved. I don't even have thumbs. I got nothing to do with this shit."
He's like, "I ain't being a fucking third wheel of this one."
He's like, "Sorry, there's no bears nearby for me to take over to do anything about this, so."
I didn't see a thing.
Yep. So then, you know, they're pretty much like, all right, Huang and what's her face are gonna run off together and try to start a new life. But they get to the docks, and they're gonna take a boat. They're gonna be on their way and live happily ever after. And then, what's her face sees that they're being followed by the syndicate, so she's like, "Well, guess I gotta die."
And
then she jumps in front of a truck.
Yeah, mirrors that the beginning thing early that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Also, I loved in this where like she gets hit by the truck and like, "I didn't see her. I don't know what to do." And then just drives off.
It's just I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I love that they actually
covering for someone.
They animate the truck just driving off, and I'm like, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to Juan at the bar again. It's a very
Yeah, he's just like, "Damn you, sweetie. You broke my heart twice."
Yeah.
That's just kind of ends there.
Yeah,
but we do get that little bit where Hay is just like, he's questioning, like, why are we serving the syndicate? Why are we doing this? What is this, you know, for? You know? And that kind of, you know, adds to the growth that we're seeing in both contractors and dolls. So we'll see where this goes. We have two more segments left, and then we will wrap it up.
Yes. Yeah, that was definitely the most like easy to digest out of all of these, I will say. Like some of them I've been like, the fuck happened? Like this one was kind of like, oh, okay, I get it.
Well, except for maybe the one with the missing cat and the detective guy.
Yeah, well that one is just like kind of off from the rest of them to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another week of Darker Than Black. Now going from one anime to another, we're doing our first entry in Spoopy Month, as we're calling it.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be covering horror films horror films for the next 4 weeks into November because we planned poorly. It's okay.
It's not our fault. Episode 100 just happened to fall in the first October week.
Yeah. But yeah, so for our first movie, as a bit of an opener, we're going to start with quite possibly one of the greatest mindfucks of all time.
Yeah.
With Perfect Blue. The
Yeah.
1997 anime film, um, the 1997 anime film directed by Satoshi Kon, the late Satoshi Kon, and based off of a novel. Fun fact: the novel did not make it overseas until 2013.
Hmm.
You know what the funnest part is too? The box like makes a big point about based off of the iconic novel that no one in this fucking country had probably knew anything about and wouldn't see
Yeah.
until decades later.
Yeah. A good like decade and a half.
Mm. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so this film is the first. It's actually the first film Satoshi Kon would direct, and it is the best way to describe this film is it is a psychological horror. Um, it's not even really a horror; it's a thriller more than anything. Um,
I'm still confused.
it's a confusing film. It's actually meant to confuse you in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Um, apparently, the book's even darker because the anime film takes a lot of deviations from the book, but essentially, the film revolves around the main character of Mima Kigoro, Kirigo. I'm trying not to butcher these names, but she's a pop idol, part of a pop group called Chime, I think it was called, or Cham.
Uh.
Cham, that was the name.
Yeah.
Um, and she is performing her final show because she wants to be an actress.
Well,
And
she doesn't necessarily want to be one. Her agent is telling her that she should move into acting
yeah,
because she's not becoming very successful as a pop star.
it's a very weird kind of unclear thing where the big theme in this movie is we don't really know what Mima wants like at all throughout this movie.
I'll tell you what she
Um,
doesn't want.
yeah, Mima goes through a lot of it, but she performs her final show, and then they split up. The other two go on to form a duo and get massively more successful without her, which is very much a bit of a dramatic irony.
Yeah.
But basically, Mima goes off and she starts her acting career, and it starts off very slow, where she's basically got a 2-second part in a film that, well, yeah, in a film that basically has barely anything to do. It might be a series,
Excuse
actually.
me. Who are you?
Exactly. That scene of her just sitting there reciting that one line, I'm just like, that is both tragic but also very relatable.
Yeah.
She's also moved into her new place, and where we immediately get the scene that dates this movie so fucking badly. She gets her new computer, and we get this whole segment of her manager Rumi explaining to us how computers work.
Yeah. That was
In
wow.
in '97, sure, but watching this in 2025, it's like, goddamn, like,
Yeah.
uh,
It was pretty weird.
it's just something funny about the time difference where a 22-year-old act like a 22-year-old like adult woman doesn't know how a computer works, and you're
She's like,
like,
I don't know how to do this.
and then you realize, oh yeah, that's right, computers weren't really a thing in the '90s
She's there
everywhere.
looking at a printout of a website and she's going H T
Yeah, she does.
T
She does
P.
HTML code, and I'm just like, no, no, nobody writes that shit. Nobody writes that. Um, but yeah, we find out that she's very much unaware of a lot of stuff, and she's kind of struggling a little bit at the time,
Mhm.
like even before shit starts happening.
She's having a difficult adjustment with her new lifestyle.
Yeah, especially as she sees her two former coworkers getting massively more successful than her right off the bat, and her
Mm.
struggling to. Her first role isn't going the way she expected. Um, to the point where like even her managers are like, "Come on, can't you guys do anything?" And they're like, "Well, we might be able to work something out." And then a letter explodes.
Yeah. And like fucks up her agent's hand.
Yeah. We should also mention our our friend there, the we don't know his name at first, but he's quite the character.
Yeah, he looks like a
Um,
goldfish with really bad teeth.
yeah, Mima's got a stalker throughout this movie. Um, who is a huge fan of the Idol group, and he's like the guy defending her from like the some drunk assholes who were like just being nuisances at the show.
With throwing rocks or whatever.
Yeah, but he is very much an unhinged stalker, and she starts seeing him like everywhere she goes, which is the film. Very quickly you start realizing like you start losing track of whether he's actually there or it's a hallucination.
Yeah, because this movie does a lot of things with like these jump cuts, like mid
Yes.
scene. Like there'll be the scene going on, and like mid scene, she'll like turn around and she's somewhere else doing something different.
Yeah.
And then
Or
like halfway through that scene, she'll turn around again, and she's back in the first scene doing the same thing. And it's very discombobulating as you're
yeah,
going through it.
it really pushes into that whole psychological like the psychological aspect of it because it leaves you confused and like uneased, which is a big reason about why I actually kind of like psychological films over like traditional horror because it
Yeah,
really
agreed.
it puts you in that constant state of like what is going on because
Yeah,
your brain is so struggling to follow and more shit just keeps happening and you're like what is going on. Because yeah, she the letter bombing incident happens and as all this stuff's going on she's getting like she discovers this website that's like it's one of those early 90s like fan sites of like a famous actress. Like do you remember the infamous like Mary Kate and Ashley fucking websites?
no, I don't.
No, you don't remember the fucking countdown till they were legal websites?
Oh God,
You
what
don't
the fuck?
you don't remember that? Yeah, that was a fucking time. Like there was a bunch of those.
Well, they look like
'Cause
Gollum now.
yeah.
I don't know if
um
you've seen what they look like nowadays, but they are not
yeah.
doing well.
Elizabeth's the one that ended up getting off better, but yeah, there was like a new number of websites back in the day that were like creepily dedicated. Like it was huge parasocial relationship shit.
Hmm.
The fucking countdown websites were fucking gross though. Like I remember those vividly. Um,
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of a thing for. There's a thing for a good amount of like old child Disney stars. 'Cause I remember
yeah,
like wasn't that like a thing with Miley Cyrus too? Like I don't know, it
I
was
don't
weird.
remember the Miley Cyrus one. I remember the Emma Watson one because the Emma Watson one was a parody site that was made to make fun of these people.
I
Um,
hope so,
no, there's a
especially after
whole
that whole interview with the vampire thing.
yeah. No. I watched the whole video on the Emma Watson one. It was actually entirely an internet like project, like like basically just making fun of these parasocial people.
Hmm.
It's actually a really interesting story. But going back to this the movie, he discovers this website called Mima's Room, which is essentially a fan site that is chronicling her life to the point of being disturbing.
Yeah, to the point it's going so far into detail that she's like, "How the fuck do they know this?"
Yeah. To the point where now we're starting to see the little psychological cracks forming here.
Hmm.
Um, but then the next day we find out she has a new scene. The director who is kind of a sleaze decides okay, he figured out a way to work the plot around her where now she is going to be assaulted in the movie.
Brutally.
Yeah. And this is where this movie goes from 0 to 100 because you get to see this entire scene in its dark dark glory. Um
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
it, but that's kind of the point. It's supposed to make you feel very uncomfortable. And it's also a very what's weird about that scene too is that is like the tamest scene, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I would have been prepared for that if I hadn't already seen Berserk. So.
No, no, not at all. Well, because this movie has a very slow beginning where it starts out being kind of like you're like, okay, like what's this movie about? And then it's like, oh, like the letter bomb is kind of your first warning, and then you get to that scene, and that scene isn't fun for anybody involved.
Yeah, because early on it's like early on, it doesn't give the impression that it's going to be this kind of crazy,
Dark
like psychological fuck show.
mind fuck. Yeah, yeah, because that whole scene is just so. Fun fact too. This particular DVD I own, as I whack myself in the face with it. This is the original Manga Entertainment unrated release from 2000.
Hmm.
Fun fact: there is an extremely rare R-rated cut of this movie.
Huh.
The censored version of this movie is the hard one to find, which is kind of funny.
Go
Um,
figure.
from what I read, because I was reading a little write up on the differences between this version and the R-rated version. In the R-rated version, like the assault scene is heavily cut down. There's a lot of pretty intense nudity in this film. Um, basically every scene of it, they cut off the lower half of her anatomy because this film shows a lot more than you'd expect in an average anime,
Hmm.
a non-porn, I should
Not
say.
quite, not quite that much, but enough.
Enough that it your eyes kind of raise and you go, oh, like it makes you uncomfortable to a degree.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and a lot of like the gory murder scenes are also heavily toned down. But yeah, she does this scene, and the whole time, like she does the scene, like they show kind of like how these are filmed, and like it's kind of just not a pleasant experience for anybody involved.
Hmm.
But then they cut to her management, like her managers, who are so distraught to the point where her manager just is uncomfortable, and her assistant Rumi is completely like unable to keep her composure.
Like she starts immediately bawling and runs away.
And you could tell her manager is very much uncomfortable too because he's in the car with her after she does the scene and she's doing the whole like hide the pain Harold like smile.
Hmm.
um and he's like, hey, you did good. I'll take you out to dinner as an apology for that. um
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, it's fine, with like the fakest smile you'll ever see. um and then we get to the first of many room scenes where she goes into her room and she's not okay. um and she goes to feed her pet fish, which she cares a lot about, and sees that they're dead. And immediately she basically breaks down at this point and just starts trashing her apartment. And basically she makes the whole point of she didn't want to do it, but she knew she had to because like her managers put all that work in to get her more screen time.
Hmm.
And then this kind of starts this long psychological decline where like we get that really disturbing scene where she's like she hears her voice talking in the computer screen, and it's like her as an idol, like taunting her. And she throws the pillow at the screen, and then it cuts to her being like her normal self again.
Hmm.
Like we start seeing some sanity slippage very quickly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's crazy,
After that one scene, it starts to really ramp up that mental instability.
yeah. And then we cut. Then the rest of the film kind of goes quickly in a sense where like we go to like so like the next day like we find out that the movie's being kind of retooled into like an interesting like new plot where like the girl that Mimo is playing is actually like a girl who's been psychologically broken and doesn't know who she is anymore. Meanwhile, they're filming the next scene, and then the writer of the film who wrote the assault scene, he's in a we next see him in a parking garage, and there's a and there's a whole he parks into his spot and there's a whole like the name of the show is on the wall covered in blood. And he just rips it off and he's like, what the hell? And doesn't even question the blood.
Yeah.
But then he starts hearing like the idol, like Mima's idol song playing like throughout the place. And he's like, that's weird. Then he opens the elevator and there's just a radio in there playing the song.
Hmm.
And then the next scene we see the elevator from the other side and he's brutally murdered with his eyes gouged out covered in blood.
Hmm.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah. They was stabbed like 67 times or some shit.
Yeah, with an ice pick, which will be a recurring thing going forward. Um,
Yeah.
the film also leaves you very questioning who did it. And you don't.
It leads you to believe it's Goldfish Man.
Yes, but the fact that when you realize there's later events that you find out, but you also find out that when you realize that who that guy is, he's the guy that wrote the scene that caused a lot of distress between everybody. Um, Leads you to wonder. But of course, the film continues to go on, and like there's points where like Mima goes and sees her former coworkers, and they're having all the success. And she's every time she runs into people, like she all of a sudden is like bombarded by this weird apparition of herself from the past that's just taunting her, and she never
Mhm.
understands like what is going on here.
Yeah.
Also, her former coworkers aren't the best friends because they make fun of her for going to get that photo shoot done.
Yeah. Well, they were kind of right though. I mean, she was just like,
They,
"Hey, that guy's the sleaze and has a reputation of being able to get girls naked for these photo shoots." And
yeah,
oh, what ends up happening?
but it's like because earlier scenes they were all happy to see her, and then this scene it's like they're just making fun of her, and it's like, damn guys, I get it's the
Well, I mean,
business, but
clearly they were holding them. She was holding them back.
yeah, a little bit. Um, Also, we get that like meta commentary in between all these scenes where it'll cut to like the public like reacting because in Japan idol culture is a huge thing that's way above my knowledge, but I know it's a very big deal, and they'll comment about how like awesome the group is now, and like they'll be like, "Have you seen what she's doing now?" It's like, yeah, it's like kind of crazy, but I always like the other girl more, anyways.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, so now Mima goes to that photo shoot, and this is another fucking disturbing scene where it's like this guy is very sleazy and
Yeah.
borderline predatorial, um,
Yeah.
and he looks like Spike Spiegel, which is kind of not fun. Um,
He
but
gets
yeah,
his comeuppance.
he does. That scene's even worse. But like he goes through like all these photo shoots, and he's like, these are graphic photos too. Like this film is not for children, I will say. And as someone who saw it in middle school, yeah, not great. Um, Yeah, apparently the unrated version, like I mean, the rated version cuts out a lot of these scenes. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we continue to as we go on. She's filming more scenes, and we're continuing to see more and more sanity slippage, where she'll encounter this herself in like mirrors and stuff. Like the scene where she's in the car and she runs out of the car to chase after this thing,
Or she
or
like jumps out. They're like the apparition jumps out the window and starts like bouncing along the light poles or whatever.
yeah, and it's just like she's not doing well. Like we get that whole scene too of the famous bathtub scene, which where she's in the bathtub and just screaming in the water, which was
Hmm.
note for note recreated by Darren Aronofsky in the film Requiem for a Dream, which for years I thought actually he had bought the rights to Perfect Blue, but I actually just discovered he apparently doesn't own the rights. That was just a homage.
Okay.
Um, yeah, a lot of stuff recently came out around this film that a lot of misconceptions have been corrected recently.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we get to there, and then like we then see this scene of the sleazy photographer opens up his gets is ordering a pizza, and he opens up the door, and one of the weirdest scenes in this movie is like um he goes to pay for the pizza, and the pizza delivery person just drops it on the ground. He's like, "You're a weird pizza delivery person," and goes to pick it
Yeah.
up,
Right.
and then she proceeds to stab him. Well, the perp proceeds to stab him in the eye and in the junk, and then everywhere else, and blood is fucking everywhere. It's like a violent scene. But then what makes it disturbing is we cut to the assailant, and it's like, oh shit, it's Mima. And as she's like basically just going to town, like on the cover of the box here, um,
Hmm.
as she's going to town on this guy, just like stabbing him to death. It just keeps cutting to like scenes from her shoot, and they're more and more graphic as they go on. It's like, god damn.
Hmm.
And then it cuts to a next scene, and it's like, did that happen, or was it all just a dream?
And then wasn't it like, was that the manager or the? Because the scene is a scene where we see the goldfish stalker man. His dead body is next to another dead body.
That's farther down.
That's
That's
later.
farther down. Yeah, because the manager's fine at this point. This is the beginning of like the kind of time loop sanity slippage where right after that, we get a whole bunch of scenes where like she'll be filming a part for the show, and then she almost gets hit by the truck, and then she wakes up again, and then the truck driven by the goldfish man, um,
Hmm.
who we're finding out is like a creepy stalker, and he's actually talking to whoever's behind the
The
Mima's Room
website.
website. Um, and then we get the other scene where she's like talking and sees like people get murdered or something, and she wakes up again, and it's just like a constant like loop thing that keeps going on
Hmm.
until eventually like she finishes the show wraps up and like they're all celebrating, like she put on an amazing performance, like she gets like praise from all the other stars, like in one of like the few lighthearted scenes in this movie. um and as they're going to wrap, um she's going to her dressing room to get her the final take care of her stuff before they leave for the wrap party. And she runs into the lead actress from the film who basically congratulates her on her thing, but then kind of gives like an ominous like message as she's leaving, only for Mima to turn the corner and see the goldfish man, who we now know his name is Mimania, I
Is
guess.
that like it? I
I'm
think that might
guessing
be like a
it's
screen name.
I'm guessing it's a scream name, but that's like all we know about him at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and she turns around to go see her the co-star who's gone now, and then we next see he just grabs her and like knocks her out,
Yeah.
and then brutally tries to assault and murder her.
Yeah.
Um, and this is where it gets a really
Screwy.
screwy here because she ends up killing him with a hammer. Also, his voice is both the greatest and worst thing in this movie.
Yeah. So I looked up the actor, and apparently he did a lot of Digimon work.
That sounds about right. Um, which is really funny because like the freaking Wikipedia page doesn't list most of um the actors, but it does have Bob Marks, which is apparently an alias name. His name is actually Martin Klein. Yeah, he did Digital Monster stuff. Oh, he's Goemon. Oh no,
Hmm.
Gomamon. That's fun. Anyways, besides the fact that he's got the goofiest sounding voice for such, I guess it fits how disturbing of a character he looks. But
Yeah, it just kind of add like an uncanny valley kind of level to it.
it completely shits all over that scene though, because that scene is fucking dark. And then all of a sudden he lets out this like the goofiest sounding voice in the movie, and you're just like, wait a minute. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I know this is serious, but
And then like after the fact, like she meets up with her assistant or whatever, and she's like, "What happened to you?" Blah blah blah. And they go back to the scene, and he's gone.
yeah, which makes you wonder like, was that another dream? But then as she's trying to call her manager because she gets taken back to her apartment, um, which is remarkably fixed all of a sudden. More on that later, though. She's trying to call her manager, and his phone isn't picking up, and we find out he's also been murdered, and his body's laying next to Mimania, who is dead. So it's like, okay, someone did kill him. We're not sure who at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, at this point, Rumi takes her back to her apartment and is making her dinner or whatever, and she's kind of like in this complete just broken sense where she's like, what is happening? What is my life now? Like, because there's that point earlier in the movie where she breaks the coffee mug and she straight up says one of the most tragic lines where she's like, is the blood real? Am I real?
Yeah.
Like, she is straight up doesn't even think she's a real person anymore. And that is dark.
And the spoilers, she might not be.
Well, we'll get to
At
that because
least
it,
at least in the form that it's giving us.
yeah. Um, so eventually she's kind of just having this whole mental attack. And then she looks at her fish, which are alive.
Yeah.
And then that's where it kind of clicks, where you go, wait a minute. Because then you look back and the poster that she ripped down earlier is back up. And all the stuff she smashed when she had her freak out earlier is back to normal. And then the big kicker, when she opens the window, that's not the same view she had in the start of the movie.
Hmm.
Basically, we find out because she turns around and sees. So this next scene is very hard to explain because it involves with massive sanity slippage, where essentially she turns around and sees the apparition of herself again in this like red dress, like, and she's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And then we see off in the mirror that it's actually Rumi, and she's been behind everything this whole time.
Hmm.
So this takes into a bit of a psychological thing. The implication here is that it's actually Rumi. Like we see her in the mirror, it's what she actually looks like. But because Mima's sanity is completely flipped at this point, she sees herself.
Hmm.
So it's actually an illusion. What we're actually it's really Rumi the whole time because you see it briefly, like on the scene where like she chokes her and she kind of morphs back into herself very
Yeah.
briefly. Um, it's implied that all of that is just an illusion in Mima's head because she's so traumatized by this point. But yeah, like we find out Rumi was behind the website. She was basically Rumi. What we found out earlier was a failed idol of her own, and like she's basically vicariously kind of living through Mima at this
Yeah.
point. And she's been the one behind pretty much everything. It's unclear if she is the murderer or not. I know the mania killed at least one of the people, but it's unclear who if Rumi had also killed.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty
She
clear that she killed the photographer guy.
Yes, on that one. It's I think it's implied Mamania killed the writer,
Hmm.
and Rumi definitely killed the manager.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, though, so we cut back to this whole scene. This is the most fucked up scene of this movie. Is um, also the fact that you realize Rumi created an exact recreation of Mima's apartment just to
Hmm.
trap her in, which is fucking deranged. Like
Yeah.
these two are two women that are not okay in the head. Um, and essentially Mima then makes a run for it, and she gets stabbed in the fucking neck with an ice pick at one point. Like
Hmm.
I'm like, there's a lot of blood that flies around too. I'm like, I know it's an anime, so it's not 100% realistic, but it's like she can't be okay. Um,
Yeah.
and she starts running through like the rooftops to get away from her. The whole time trying to avoid her getting stabbed, and then she gets stabbed with an umbrella through the abdomen.
Hmm.
Um, but eventually, like they reach this point where like they just see a mirror in the distance, and like Mima basically gets caught at a dead end, which is a weird like dead end alley with a mirror in it. I don't know. Um,
More reality slippage.
yeah, I think it's supposed to be a window in
Ah.
reality because eventually they get to the window and Rumi smashes the mirror window, and in that brief moment, Mima is able to grab the wig on her head, which causes her to realize who she actually is because Rumi thinks she's Mima at this point. Like some
Yeah.
bizarre identity slippage.
Oh, she was also running the website about her too.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yep. But when she throws the wig ends up flying into the broken window, and Rumi jumps after it and gets basically impaled through the stomach by this massive shard of glass.
Hmm.
Um, and then gets knocked back. And we get one of the most iconic images from this movie is the image. It's on the back of the box of her with the blood on her face. Like basically, like this is a broken person right here.
Hmm.
And then she essentially at that point has nothing left to live for. So she then jumps in front of an oncoming truck, which Mima then manages to save her at the last second.
Which why was she even trying at that point?
Well, because it by that point it's implied that Mima's starting to get her sanity back a little bit.
But
I
is
think
she though? Because we haven't mentioned there's a couple little quick scenes where it seemed like all of this was happening in her head and that the character she was playing on the show is her actual self and that she was assaulted and
so
that's why her sanity broke.
so that I've read the book, so I can actually confirm this. That is a fun fan theory. That is actually is a fan theory. Satoshi Kon has confirmed that is not what's going on.
Then why was it there?
To fuck with your head. That's exactly the reason.
God.
It worked. as I can see, it worked. Because it's a popular fan theory that many people have made. And then people realize
I thought it was like being like broadcast at the end. It was just like this is the actual thing.
no. So as fucked up as this movie is, it does have a happy ending for
Does
Mima.
it?
For Mima, anyways. That's
Does
about it.
it?
Yes, if you so after they're saved from the truck, there's a big time skip, and we're in this mental facility essentially where we find out Rumi has been institutionalized because she's completely out of her mind. Um, and you can tell a lot of time has passed because like Rumi's hair is now grown naturally to about the length Mima's was, which is a bit of a symbolic thing where she completely thinks she's Mima at this point.
Mhm.
And then we cut to there's a lady behind the glass talking to like an orderly, and they're basically saying like there's times where her real personality will return, but most of the time it's very short. And um, the woman next to her says, well, "I guess I'll never see the real Rumi again," and starts walking out. And we find out that's actually Mima, because it's been a few
Oh,
years now.
I thought that was the her co-star in the show
No.
who
That
in because in the scenes where it was like oh like she actually has split personality and like the person she played on the show is her actual like the chick who was like the psychologist or whatever like playing the role of a psychologist whatever that's who I thought that was that's why I thought
no
that
no
okay
that was Mima.
okay
Because it's implied that a few years have gone by. That's or at least some time because her hair is a lot longer now. Um,
hmm
and it's implied that she's actually because if you listen to those two nurses walking out there, like they mentioned, like, is that the famous star? It's implied that her acting career has taken off now.
oh she got plenty of publicity.
Sure did. Um, so this is where a big, huge misconception happens because of, I guess, like an error in like the translation. A lot of fans have always believed that there was a last minute mindfuck here, where originally it was when Mima says the line, "I know I'm the real me." At the end, it was said in Rumi's voice at one point. That's apparently a giant like um
The fuck up.
apparently it's one of those things that people just kind of like willed into existence and apparently never was a thing.
Huh.
Satoshi Kon's always said like that it's always been Mima at the end there. It's not like a last mindfuck. It's an interview of his came out like recently that was discovered where he clarified these rumors and like basically he basically fixed a lot of misconceptions. But yeah,
Mhm.
the ending, the film does end once. Now that I've learned this, it's actually a bit more of a happy ending. When you think about it,
Mhm.
where you find out that she is herself and like she is finally successful at the expense of
Multiple lives.
a lot of people. And it's kind of unclear whether she killed anybody or not because we don't really know.
Yeah.
The photographer,
I, I,
as far as we know, it's not. It's kind of unclear.
I don't know. I'm just for the sake of my own sanity, I'm just gonna say that she's innocent.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone's gonna give her grief for that one.
True.
But
So
yeah,
yeah,
it's Perfect
that was
Blue.
a definitely a mind fuck of a movie.
I love it though. Like
It's
it is
probably the
such.
most mind fucking anime film I've ever seen for sure.
Yeah, it really is, and I love it because it is such a. It is just so different from anything else I've seen.
Hmm.
The animation, which apparently, this film had a very small budget apparently too, which could have fooled me.
What was the budget on it?
It's 90 million yen, which is 830 and $830,422.
Wow, it actually had a pretty considerately bigger budget than the other movie we watched today.
True. Um, and it didn't make its money back in the box office, which is kind of sad. Um, but the film is critically like acclaimed, like by so many people out there. Like people adore this film. It's considered one of the greatest anime films of all time. It puts
Hmm.
Satoshi Kon on the map because Satoshi Kon is a very important figure in anime. Like I've always like mentioned how like a lot of people will say like Miyazaki is the Walt Disney of anime. I always said that Satoshi Kon was the Don Bluth of anime, where like
Fair.
all his stuff was a little more edgier and a lot more thought provoking at
Where
times.
would that put Makoto Shinkai?
It was a good modern animation director. Because Shinkai is definitely a newer name, and he's definitely like the new king, I'd say.
Well, I meant like as far as like a comparison to somebody in the West.
I'd have to think because I don't really know a lot of Western animators,
Hmm.
especially big ones nowadays.
Well, even just in terms of like directors in general.
Mm, I'd have to think on that one for a bit. Shinkai is interesting. I want to do a Shinkai retrospective at some point in the future, but that's for I have to watch those movies first. Um,
Yeah, I've only seen 4 of his films, but I think the same 4 that you've seen.
yes. Um, the thing too about Satoshi Kon too is like he tragically died younger. Like I think he was only in his like 50s, and he only made 4 films
Hmm.
and an anime series. He had Perfect Blue was his debut. He had the Millennium Actress,
Oh,
Tokyo
I have
God.
seen that one.
Oh, you've seen the Millennium Actress?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was a
that's
good one.
his
That was a good
that's his
movie.
second film. You can see it's toned down significantly, but still
Yeah,
mindfucky,
yeah.
but not as bad. Um, he did that film. He did Tokyo Godfathers, which is a Christmas movie. It's actually the black sheep of his series because it's like a lighthearted one. We'll probably do it for a Christmas one of these years.
Hmm.
Um, and then his final film was Paprika, which is you've probably seen the cover of it somewhere, but it is essentially Inception before Inception.
Okay. What was the
Um,
series that he did?
and he did a series called Paranoia Agent.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
It might be on Crunchyroll. It was on Funimation for a while.
I'll have
Um,
to check it out.
but that one is also mindfucky as can be. He was working on one final project, which was apparently supposed to be a fantastical kind of movie and very different from his style, but it was never finished, and it seems like it's never going to be.
Hmm.
Um, and he tragically passed away before it could be done. But he is what like very heavily influenced. Like he was a huge influence on Darren Aronofsky, as we mentioned earlier, like to the point where he recreated the bathtub scene in Requiem for a Dream. Apparently, he wanted to create a live action Perfect Blue, but he couldn't get the rights for it. That's where that
Hmm.
misconception comes from. And then he made the film Black Swan, which no matter how much he claims was not inspired, no one believes him because holy shit, like it's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's honestly, you might have to watch it again at some point in the future to get a true
Yeah.
grasp on it.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
and there is a much nicer HD remaster of this on Blu-ray that came out a couple of years back, which I also owned, but I
Hmm.
couldn't use for this because of how we had to record. Um,
Yes.
but that's there, so that's always something fun to see.
Hmm.
Also, the music, like that freaking soundtrack, like when her sanity is like slipping, it was also the menu music. That is such a eerie song that's like sticks in your head.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's no secret I love this movie. Where would you rank it? Like, what was your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, in terms of like a beginning to end story, like as its own like kind of isolated beginning to end, it's definitely up there. In terms of like a personal favorite, it's probably more in the middle.
That's fair. It's not for everybody. Like it
And,
is a
and this is coming, this is coming from somebody who's like an intense Berserk fan, so it's not even like necessarily like the harder moments. Actually, I'm a Berserk fan and a Baccano fan, so confusing and dark isn't necessarily a turnoff for me. But I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where I have to watch it a couple more times before I really kind of get it. Because that does happen to me sometimes. Like sometimes I'll watch a movie or a TV show and like, or like if a new season of a show comes out or whatever, I start watching. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. But then like the more time passes, like something clicks. So it could be one of those things. But for now, it's definitely not like in top tier as far as my favorites go. But I did find it to be I don't know, fun and enjoyable probably aren't words that you should really associate with this.
fun. No, it isn't enjoyable.
Interesting and thought provoking experience.
I'd say enjoyable would work because it's a fascinating film. I love a film that makes you think about it. Like when I first saw this movie, like way back middle school, 14 years old.
Hmm.
I didn't sleep for a few nights, that's for sure. Um,
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
um, I thought about it for a long time, and I still always think about this film every now and then. Like
Hmm.
especially whenever I see someone sorry, can't talk. Someone shitting on anime for being anime, and then I'm like, watch this, and
Yeah.
then I'll go find you when you're fucking confused in a corner later, because yeah, yeah, it's there's only so many ways I can say I love this movie without sounding like a broken drum.
What?
Hmm.
I lost you for a second there.
I was just saying, like, I love this movie, and I really can't. There's only so many more ways I can say that without sounding like a broken drum.
Yeah, I literally, it kind of, literally the first thing I heard as you came back in was broken drum. I'm like, what?
Yeah, lovely.
No, I
Uh,
get that. I know because I feel similar ways about like say the Golden Age arc trilogy of the Berserk films. Like
hmm,
like those are not happy films, but
no,
they are like really interesting and enjoyable experiences.
yeah,
There's a few scenes that are rough, but yeah,
hmm,
all told, like it's worth watching for sure.
yeah. But yeah, that was the first of our Halloween series we'll be doing. Spooky month, as they say.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to be talking about the film Cube.
Mm. Also 1997.
Yeah, fun. It was weirdly 1997, both psychological. There's a few similarities, which was kind of funny.
Both psychological thrillers with low budgets.
Yes, and a lot of death. Um, but yeah, and only one person ends up happy, debatably, in both films.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, had to
Yeah, it's
think
very
about
debatable in Cube, but
had to think about that one for a minute. Um, but yeah, so I guess that'll wrap this one up. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site where you can find a whole bunch of different shows, videos, blogs. Um, be sure to check out Spooktober. We'll be doing a bunch of horror game blogs this month. And yeah, with that, everybody, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
have a good one.